As I was wrapping up work here for the day, I got a notification that the Marathon development team dropped an article here on X. So I wanted to go through this all for the first time with you all, of course, right? Because homies, y'all my homies. So this article starts with, as we move deeper into the new season, we want to share some important dates coming up for Marathon. Mid-season begins July 21st. So season 2.5, if we want to call it that, will begin July 21st. First up, mid-season will start on July 21st and will include introducing Vault Breaker. What we got here? Marathon's experimental PvE mode. Interesting. Vault Breaker. Explore Cryo Archive as a crew, duo, or solo player, taking on a progressively challenging series of vaults. Grow stronger across multiple matches with progression that's unique to Vault Breaker and push towards the final vault and the mysterious entity within. Vault Breaker requires a special sponsored kit to queue up, and any gear or items you find stay behind when you exfil. The exception to this is Vault Data. This new currency is found within vaults, and when extracted can be exchanged for upgrades to your Vault Breaker sponsored kits, as well as gear that can be used in other modes. This lets you experience Cryo Archive without flooding the economy with low-risk, high-power cryo loot. Interesting. I got some thoughts about this, but I'm gonna hold my thoughts until the end. Let's keep going. The Cradle Evolution system. Mid-season also brings the first iteration of the Cradle Evolution system. Upon maxing out your Cradle, you'll now be able to reset back to 0 to earn 1 additional maximum energy point and unlock unique cosmetics, including multiple runner shell styles. These cosmetics will be available later in the season, but if you unlock them ahead of time, you'll automatically receive them once they're available. With this change, Cradle progression speeds will also be increased. Okay, cool. More to come. Various other quality of life, tuning, and other changes, including the addition of player profile stats. Season 3 begins September 22nd. Cool, we got the official date here. Looking further ahead, Season 3 will begin on September 22nd and brings big changes to the early game experience, including a revamp of perimeter to add major new areas, encounters, and gameplay. Season 3 also introduces a new runner shell, new weapons and equipment, and lots of other content and surprises. We'll share more details about mid-season, including a full rundown on Vault Breakers and our Season 3 plans as we get closer to the live updates. Okay. Man, let's talk about this a little bit. First and foremost, I want to talk about this Vault Breaker mode. This is, at least on paper, a very good iteration. And this is not perfectly balanced, at least from the sound of things, but I would say this is a pretty darn good first attempt, right? The fact that whatever you collect here in Vault Breaker, you can't take with you, okay, but at least you get a certain currency and you can use that currency to upgrade your Vault Breaker, as they're calling it, or you can use the currency to be able to acquire items that you can take into the traditional extraction mode. Like that is what we wanted. That is what the PvP players, or the people that, you know, want to be extraction purists or whatever you want to call them, that's what they wanted. They wanted security, right? They said, look, and I'm saying I'll say more so for myself. I can't speak for everybody, actually. So let me change that and say me. What I wanted is, if we're going to have a PvE mode in Marathon, I wanted it to make sure that it would not affect the extraction loop and or the economy, right? We already seen how that played out a little bit with Sponsor Survival. We were running into people with purple and gold items. Like my first day playing, I put down a team, and off of the thief that I put down, I looted a purple shield, I looted a gold implant, and I looted purple weapons. Literally on the first day, or no, it might have been the second day of the season. Let me not sell cap. I think it was the second day of the season, but still, day 2, I'm getting that type of loot off of people. Like, bruh, what's going on, right? So now I know some of the sponsor kits that everybody started with based off of what level you finished with in Season 1. That played a role, I understand that, but Sponsor Survival kind of mucked up the economy, for lack of a better term, right? So in introducing the PvE mode, we wanted to make sure that it would not be to the detriment of the main extraction loop, right? Like, could they coexist? That was the big question, and that was my big question. Could a PvE mode and the extraction loop exist? And Bungie is showing us, yeah, at least they're going to take a stab at it, which I can appreciate. And hey, look, shout out to my PvE players, man. Shout out to my PvE homies. because y'all did not let up in any capacity. And now we are finding a way to meet him. Look, I'm a marathon guy. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna play the PvE mode. I'm gonna check it out, and I'm probably gonna spec into this Vault Breaker in some capacity, right? The extraction loop will be my main game mode, but I'm gonna check this out, and I'm gonna vibe with it, right? And look, PvE homies, I truly hope and pray that this Vault Breaker mode is the beginning of something special for you all. I know I've said in the past, like, oh, Marathon doesn't need PvE. I made a couple videos on it, but as I sat down in my mature age of being 31 years young, right, I really thought about it, and it was like, look, there really isn't a need to gatekeep. If we can find a way for everybody to experience Marathon the way they want to experience it without it being a detriment to one another, meaning without it, you know, taken away from the extraction, or vice versa, without it being a cheapened PvE mode, then let's do it, right? I kind of had some trauma from Destiny. I always was a PvP aficionado in Destiny, and post Forsaken, it was like, what did the PvP crew get? Like, we got literally nothing. We got crumbs, because they couldn't balance the two, right? So they poured into the PvE, which was cool. I would run it. I would run raids, obviously go through the campaigns, go through legend difficult, or is it called legend difficulty? Go through the hardest difficulty, etc. Right? I would do all that stuff, but it's like, then I go back to PvP, which was a husk of its former self, right? So like, that kind of scarred me a little bit. But hey, look, hey, everything heals with time. It is what it is. We're here now. This is a different set of circumstances. As Bungie, please, 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 just make sure y'all give us all what we need. Y'all take care of the extraction loop cats. Y'all take care of the PvE cats. And I think this could be dope. I think this could be dope, because it's almost like, it almost sounds like it's a little bit roguelike-esque. You know what I'm saying? Like, go through runs, start to build up your Vault Breaker. You get some out-of-game currency that you could use to acquire stuff that you could take into the main extraction mode. I'm very interested to see how all that plays out, right? Hopefully this is a tough mode and it isn't farmable. Maybe it's one of those things where, like, the better you are, the further you can get in a run, then you can get the good stuff, and, you know, so on and so forth. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. Now, talking about the Cradle Evolution system here, this is very interesting as well, because it's almost like a mini voluntary wipe in some capacity, right? Like, if you wipe your Cradle, especially if you are if you are a full-time Marathon player, meaning you play 8 to 10 hours a day, if you're one of those lunatics, right? I love you all nonetheless. But if you're one of those lunatics, now you have incentive to reset your Cradle. You can end up getting additional energy points to spec back into the Cradle, and you can max it out even more. Also, too, you can get some cosmetics jumping off. And what else did it say? It said you can get cosmetics, including multiple runner shell styles. I don't even know what that means. We'll have to just play it out and see what that looks like, but I would assume it's just more cosmetics and then more opportunity to further spec into the Cradle just by resetting it. So, hey, look, my grinders, y'all now have something more to grind towards, like, as we are going through the seasons. I think that is ideal. I think that is good, and that's a step in the right direction. Is it perfect? No, not by a long shot, but very interested to see how many times can you reset the Cradle. Like, will you be able to max out everything at some point if you reset the Cradle? I don't know, 10 to 12 times, maybe not. I have no idea, but very interested to see how it plays out. I would say it's a win-win if it gives grinders something more to grind towards. You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime we can have more incentive, I would say there's nothing wrong with that. Will all players be able to maximize that incentive? No, but that's not the goal. The goal is to make sure there's enough meat on the bone for casual players, no matter if you're a filthy casual or you're a super casual, whatever. There's meat on the bone for you, but also, too, there's meat on the bone for the extensive grinders as well. So it sounds like that's going to be the case. And then Season 3 dropping in September 22nd. I think that's technically the first day of fall, if I'm not mistaken. Very interested to see what Bungie brings to the table then. And look, they got to bring some heat, because player base ain't looking too good. If we're being totally honest and transparent, they got to bring some heat to the table. I'll be interested to see what this Vault Breaker mode does. Will it, you know, inject a new, I almost said new player supply, but will it, I don't know, will it do something to bring players back or to make people want to purchase the game? We'll see. I would say if we could round out Season 2 in that 15 to 20K concurrent player base, at least from Steam charts or from a Steam chart standpoint, I would say that's a step in the right direction, and then that could allow for them to catapult even further moving into Season 3. But I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but I'm very curious to hear what you all think about this mid-season big patch that is already starting to like show itself a little bit, that's already brewing up. What do you all think about that? What do you all think about season 3 and what's to come in season 3? I mean, of course, we don't know a ton just yet, but are you all excited for it? Let me know down in the comments below. I may not get to reply to everyone, but I read them all. And even if you don't comment, do know I love you and I appreciate you all nonetheless. Thank you all so much for coming and watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.